And so some of the best legacies I've had and some of the best lessons I've had have come from people like my grandmother, because she understood without any kind of education that we're not defined or remembered so much as by what we have or how much we own, but by what we do and how we do it. And we're all here for a reason. I think, not existentially on the planet, in this room, in Tucson, Arizona, today, on December 9th, for a reason. And that reason is because we all believe in the future of the Jewish people, and that we can make a difference in that future and how that future looks. But it's a really big job. I'm glad that we're working together on it, but it's a huge job. And I think that the first thing we have to do before we start that job is we have to ask ourselves a question. So I'd like to ask this question. I don't expect anyone to answer it right now, but I hope you will carry it kind of along with you today, tomorrow, as you leave, when you fly back on the planes, and think about this question. What legacy are you leaving? How do you want to be remembered? This is a really important question for everyone in this room to be clear on, because this job that we have will be so much easier when we ourselves understand the answer to the question, what legacy do I want to leave? Put a different way, I'm not really sure it's possible for us to do our work and get other people to answer that question until we have answered it for ourselves. So I'd like to take us on a little journey today through some of the texts that will help us answer this question. Now, generally, when I have a difficult question, it's something that I do is I go to Jewish texts, the Torah or the Talmud, and I look for answers. Normally, that's what I would do, but I have to tell you, I have a different source of inspiration for this text today, and I'm very, very, very happy to say that so does San Diego. San Diego and I are totally in sync on this, and you'll know why in a second. Because I drew my inspiration also from Starbucks. I remember that Gail Littman took out a $5 coupon that you were giving away with the chocolate. Well, so here's my story about how I drew my inspiration for this talk. I was going to Starbucks to spend some time to really think and kind of collect myself, have a cup of coffee. And as nature would have it, I needed to go to the bathroom. Well, for most of the women in this room, you'll understand it when I say the line to the women's room was like 5 deep, and the line to the men's room there was no line. So I thought, I'm just not going to wait. It's fine, nobody's here, not a big deal. So I kind of surreptitiously walked, as if I'm heading to the women's room, but then I kind of just look over and kind of give a wink and a nod, look behind me, go in the men's room, close the door, and I turn on the light, and there's this poster on the wall. And I'm like, wow. I read the poster. It was a beautiful poster, actually. It was a tree, and the roots of the tree had core values of Starbucks. And then it was this beautiful flowering tree with white flowers and blossoms. And on the branches, it had phrases that referred to their corporate ideals. And one of the phrases on one of the branches was, I would like to make a difference. More importantly, I can. I would like to make a difference. More importantly, I can. I'm sitting there. I don't want to get too graphic, but I'm like, wow, that's Jewish legacy in a nutshell. There's our elevator message. So I think, I love how God works in my life. I veer into the men's room, I get my inspiration for a talk, and I knew that it was meant for me. And afterwards, I went into the women's room, no poster, none. If I had gone into the women's room, I would have just reapplied my makeup and been gone. But I have to tell you, it wasn't just that message that got to me. On the bottom of the poster were also 8 words that really blew my mind. And those words were so Jewish that I kept on looking in the tiny print to see if it said the Talmud. The words were, The deeper the roots, the higher the reach. The deeper the roots, the higher the reach. So I started thinking about that, and I thought, you know, that's the practice for legacy planning. We try to put down into the soil of our lives our core values, our passions, our stories, our relationships, and then we hope that from that will grow this tree that will grow wide and high and affect people that we know and affect people way beyond the scope of whom we know. In a way, I thought that that almost represents a kind of world Jewish sukkah, a sheltering presence of a canopy of leaves from all of our trees together. So I thought about this, and I thought the deeper the roots, the higher the reach.